everyone, in this video I'm going to explain you the process of glycolysis. Glycolysis is a Greek word which means sugar splitting. This name was given by Emden Mayerov and Parnas, so it is referred as EMP pathway. Now let us know some important points about glycolysis. In anaerobic organisms, it is the only process of respiration. This process takes place in cytoplasm and present in this process, glucose undergoes partial oxidation to form two molecules of pyruvic acid. In plants, glucose comes from sucrose, which is the end product of photosynthesis, or it can be derived from storage carbohydrates. Sucrose is converted into glucose and fructose by the enzyme invertase, and these monosaccharides enter the glycolytic pathway readily. In glycolysis, a chain of 10 reactions produces pyruvate from glucose by the help of different enzymes. In glycolysis, 2 ATP are utilized. In total, 4 ATP, 2 NADH2 plus, and 2 molecules of pyruvic acid are produced. Pyruvic acid is a key product of glycolysis, and its metabolic fate depends on cellular need. Pyruvic acid has three major fates: lactic acid fermentation or alcoholic fermentation under anaerobic conditions, that is, in the absence of oxygen, or Krebs cycle under aerobic conditions, that is, in the presence of oxygen. Now let us learn the steps of glycolysis. So, glucose enters the glycolytic pathway. It is converted into glucose 6-phosphate by the enzyme hexokinase, and during this process, 1 ATP molecule is utilized. Now then, glucose 6-phosphate gets converted into fructose 6-phosphate by the enzyme isomerase. Fructose 6-phosphate gets converted into fructose 1,6-bisphosphate as extra phosphate being added into this compound. ATP is utilized, and this takes place in the presence of an enzyme phosphofructokinase. Fructose 1,6-bisphosphate gets converted into triose phosphates, that is glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate and dihydroxyacetone phosphate. These are three carbon compounds. The 6 carbon compound gets broken down into two types of triose phosphates by the enzyme aldolase, and these two are isomeric form, so they are interconvertible by the enzyme isomerase. So let us learn this process in a single direction so we can accept that DHAP, dihydroxyacetone phosphate, gets converted into glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate and continues the same reaction. Now, glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate gets converted into 1,3-bisphosphoglyceric acid, and during this process, NAD plus gets converted into NADH plus H plus. So it's basically an energy compound which provides energy, or well, it runs through electron transport chain, and it can result in the production of 2 ATP, 3 ATP molecule. Now, 1,3-bisphosphoglyceric acid gets converted into 3-phosphoglyceric acid by the help of an enzyme transphosphorylase, and during this process ATP gets converted into ATP. Now 3-phosphoglyceric acid gets converted into 2-phosphoglycerate by the enzyme mutase. 2-phosphoglycerate gets converted into 2-phosphoenol pyruvate by the enzyme enolase. Phosphoenol pyruvate gets converted into pyruvic acid, the final product of glycolysis, by the enzyme kinase, and during this process ADP gets converted into ATP. So these two steps results in the production of ATP, and during in this step water molecule is released out. So it is, you can notice this multiplied by 2. Okay, so these steps are multiplied by 2 because we have considered dihydroxyacetone phosphate as glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate, and this continues the same reaction. So you could see this steps being multiplied by 2. Now look at the energy balance. So total 4 ATP were produced and 2 ATP are utilized. So as a net you can consider 2 ATP, and we have 2 NADH2. So 1 NADH2, when it runs through electron transport chain, it results in the production of 3 molecules of ATP. So you can consider 6 ATP here and 2 ATP. So net ATP produced are 8 ATP. So that's it about glycolysis. Thank you for watching.